Yo, what is up, PDQs? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching what is it? Bright Side Riddles. 12 riddles to check if you can escape from danger. Let's watch. I'm here with my friend Jax. Jax, say hi. Hi. Okay, let's watch.
Hey, what's up? I'm here with a new test that'll check your wits and survival skills. Try to crack the following 12 riddles and write down your results. At the end, you can see how well you did. But I should warn you, you'll need to do your best to avoid all the traps. Good luck. Number 1, a problem in the jungle. You're traveling through the jungle all on your own. One morning, you find out that you're almost out of water. You can get more water from one of 4 sources.
I know.
A juicy cactus, a pond with salty seawater, a clear, still lake, or a silty stream. What source of water will you choose to fill your filter water bottle with? 10 seconds to decide.
Hot water. And how are you supposed to get hot water? He's in the jungle. You have the sun right there, and the sun will hit it, and then you will make clean water.
Most cacti are toxic, and instead of quenching your thirst, you'll have a severe stomachache. Salty seawater will dehydrate you. Stagnant water in the still lake is swarming with all kinds of bacteria, and drinking it is extremely dangerous. Thus, your best choice would be the silty stream. It contains nothing your filter water bottle can't neutralize. Number 2, a road accident.
Okay, this makes
A truck,
sense,
a man riding a horse, and a motorcycle are waiting on the road for the green light. Suddenly, the truck driver drops his cell phone on the horn. The loud noise scares the horse, and it bites the motorcyclist's ear. Shocked and in pain, the man unwittingly moves his motorcycle and causes an accident. But which person actually broke the law? You have 10 seconds to figure it out.
Okay, guys, I'm pretty sure it's the truck driver.
Yeah, probably.
Because you're not supposed to be on your phone while you're driving.
Yeah, he broke the law.
Yeah.
The truck, you can't do that while you're driving.
It's the motorcyclist, because he isn't wearing a helmet while driving.
Right.
3,
No, but
a forest
not all
escape.
motorcycle people
You're
wear
lost in a
helmets, guys,
forest.
so that would make no
It's
sense.
getting dark, and very soon,
I know, but-
wild animals will start their hunt. There are 4 roads you can choose from: the north, south, west, and east. But the north path will take you to a supermassive black hole ready to swallow you up. The south road goes through a lake full of huge whale sharks. If you take the west road, you'll end up at the edge of a ginormous hole in the ground which can't be crossed,
What the
even
heck?
with the help of a rope.
That's weird.
And the east path will bring you to a sky-high mountain which is impossible to climb over. You have 10 seconds to
I'm
choose
gonna
your
take
way.
the mountain. Oh no, I would take the sink. 'Cause look, you can just like drive around it.
Yeah, that.
Why that? No, I'm talking about the sharks.
You need to follow the south road. Whale sharks present no threat to people, and they'll let you swim across the lake without any problems.
See?
You said drive around it.
No, I said, so you just go around it.
4, trapped by a psycho. A psycho caught you and let you choose where you'd have to stay on your own for the following 3 weeks. If you manage to survive, he'll set you free. He gave you 3 options: a desert full of cacti, a sunny field with flowers, a banana and a glass of water, and a beach under stormy skies, surrounded by sharp cliffs and hit by high waves.
Of course
Where do you have the best chances to
What
survive?
was the banana and the water?
Dude, that banana like is cut into tiny little pieces, and they just eat one every day. They get tons
Yeah.
of water every
Yes.
day. It's a movie.
In a desert, there's no water, and you won't last long. 1 banana and a glass of water won't help you to survive for 3 weeks. Your only choice is the
Oh,
beach.
'cause you can catch
The sea will
fish
provide
there.
you with food,
Oh,
and
yeah.
since the
Every
weather is
day
cloudy,
and make a
you'll be
fire.
able to
And
drink
what if it's
rainwater.
pouring like that, you can't make a
5,
fire.
a
So
scary
why can't you just
castle.
pick-
One
or
night, you
weren't
find
eating
yourself
each
stuck
one.
in an old, spooky castle. You hear someone chasing after you, and you run faster and faster, but suddenly, a dead end. However, as your eyes adjust, you notice 3 doors in the wall. But behind each door, there are some horrifying creatures. The first door hides zombies. Werewolves are behind the second one. And if you open the third door, you'll come face to face with bloodthirsty vampires.
Well,
Which
I'm
door
pretty
should
sure
you
you can
open
get
to
the
have a
fire
chance
and
to
be
survive?
like,
I have a good idea. You can go in there after full moon.
What room?
Full moon. The wolf, because full moon is when they only come out.
Escape through the second door.
Yeah.
The moon is waxing at the moment, and
Yeah!
werewolves only transform
Yes!
during a full moon. 6. A wicked kidnapper. You're kidnapped and held in a basement by a crazy professor.
Oh my
But
god.
the basement has 3 doors, and one of them leads to freedom. The professor leaves, and you get to open the doors one by one. Behind the first door, there's a dense jungle full of deadly creatures.
I wouldn't do that.
Behind the second door, there's a gigantic fire-breathing dino that could
Oh my
burn
god,
you
I
alive.
thought they're dead.
And behind the third door, you see a lake of ice water that freezes everything in several seconds. How can you escape?
No, because then you'll freeze. Like, you won't be able to get away. So I'm pretty sure I'll take the dinosaur.
Yeah, dinosaur, because you can get under that. It's
And
too
also
big.
dead. So, like, basically, yes, the dinosaur.
Walk out through the second door. Dinosaurs can't breathe fire. Number 7, the attic mystery.
Yes.
Mark and James played in the attic where it was dark and dirty. But when they came down, only Mark's face was covered in dust, while James' face was miraculously clean. However, it was James who went and washed his face. You have 10 seconds to figure out why.
Maybe he's allergic to dust, guys. I mean,
And
a lot.
maybe
Yeah.
Maybe, like, he's allergic to it, because every time he sneezes, like,
James looked at Mark's face and thought that he was dirty too. At the same time, when Mark looked at James, whose face was spotless, he decided he was just as clean. Number 8, a treasure hunt. A treasure hunter got lost in a forest, but after he had been walking for some time, he noticed a crossroad with a big stone in the middle. There was a note on this stone which read, 4 plus no 5. The man realized that the sign must be showing the direction toward the treasure, but it was written in some tricky cipher.
You go north.
Can you help the treasure hunter to decipher the
North.
code?
north.
It means north, guys.
North.
Down.
North. North.
Hey guys,
North.
it's obviously north because it is.
The man should turn
like
the
kinda
note
like an
upside down. Then it will read south. That's where the treasure is.
South.
9.
Oh yeah, because the
An
plus
escape
sign
from a
and the
locked
wood
house.
become-
You got kidnapped and locked in a stone house. However, there are 4 doors you can escape through. But behind the first door, it's extremely cold. And if you choose to go that way, you'll turn into a block of ice in a matter of
Wait, so
seconds.
this is weird.
The second door opens into a water tank swarming with hungry sharks. Behind the third door, the sun
Well, the
shines
sharks
so
would be
brightly
dead,
that
so
it burns
starving to
everything in
death.
no time.
And you
And
can
the
only
room
last
behind the fourth
a
door
week
is
without
filled
eating.
with toxic gas
So,
that
yeah.
won't let you breathe.
Yeah,
Is
it's the
there a way
sharks,
to
guys,
escape?
'cause
You
you
have
can only
10
last
seconds
a
to
week
figure
without
it out.
food. Today would
Wait,
be dead.
If you could do this and I was stuck in this situation, I would get a stick, light it on fire, throw it in there so it's kind of warm in there, and then run through that.
Wait until the evening when the sun goes down and escape through the third door.
Oh,
That's
And
stupid.
dropped into
no,
a
it isn't,
pit.
because you wait till the sun goes down.
One day, John was caught by a maniac and thrown into a 20-foot deep
Why is
pit.
it all these humane?
The maniac told him that in 5 minutes, the pit would start to fill with water. John was horror-struck because he can't swim. He looked around
He's a
and
grown
noticed
man.
that on
Boy,
the
why
bottom
can't
of the
you
pit,
swim?
there was a
Your
6-foot-long
mom is
rope,
stupid.
a 4-foot-tall wooden barrel, and a 3-foot-tall metal safe. John
Boy, you
himself
used to
was
rub.
6
You
feet
throw
tall.
it up there.
How could
No,
he use these
you should
objects
put
to
that
get out
on
of the
that
pit
and-
alive?
That's the rope,
You
and
have
then you
10
can,
seconds to help the
throw it
poor
on
man.
up.
Oh yeah, that would make like tons of sense. Put the bear, to put the safe on top of the barrel, and then you get the rope, stand on that, and
no,
then
the
throw
barrel
it there.
on the safe, because the safe might be too heavy.
John should hold on to the barrel when the water starts to rise.
Oh my
It'll
God,
help him to stay
that
afloat
makes
and take him to the surface. 11. A cafe theft. Look at this picture. 10 minutes before it was taken, someone from this photo had stolen all the money from the cafe on the beach. However, all these people claim that none of them had visited the cafe in the last 10 minutes. Who's the thief?
No, it's the lady who had all the jewelry on. That lady.
Oh, yeah.
How would she get all that stuff?
The thief is the man with an ice cream. If he had bought it more than 10 minutes ago, it would have already melted, or the man would have already eaten it.
Okay, I think I'm gonna watch this after some chicken. Okay guys, you know what? I'm gonna download this.
A prison escape.
Oh my god, guys.
Matt escaped from prison by digging a long tunnel in the floor of his cell. He'd been crawling through the underground tunnel for 3 hours when he saw that the main tunnel divided into 3 smaller ones. But the first one was on fire, and the second tunnel was home to a nest of venomous snakes. The third tunnel was set with explosives. How can Matt escape?
Well, one, you can easily go back up to your cell, grab a cup, sweep it up with toilet water, and then throw it at the fire. You can easily turn off. Or throw dirt at the fire.
Matt should opt for the first tunnel. He can walk through it after he puts out the fire with dirt. And now, let's get down to the part you've been waiting for. So, if your result is 0 to 4 correct answers, it's time to read some books that'll help you master the art of survival. Or you can just watch more videos like this and you'll definitely get better. If you cracked 5 to 8 riddles, you're almost there.
We're gonna watch this video.
So in one small town, there lived 3 neighbors, Mr. Black, Mr. Brown, and Mr. White. Quite a colorful trio.
I'm pretty sure kids can crack
Which one stole a necklace from the town's only jewelry store? Honestly, I don't have a clue, but maybe you do. Here are some tricky riddles you'll have to crack to earn the title of the world's best detective. Your results await at the end. Number 1, the missing jewelry. It was Mr. and Mrs. Smith's wedding anniversary. Mrs. Smith was going to put on diamond earrings her husband gave her for their wedding. But when she opened her jewelry box, she was shocked to see that the earrings were missing. She called her teenage daughters, Dora and Laura. "I've told you so many times not to touch my things. Who took my jewelry this time?" Dora was indignant. "I haven't touched your jewelry box." Laura also denied taking her mom's stuff. "Why would I need your old earrings?" Are 10 seconds enough for you to figure out which girl is lying?
She's spoiled brat.
It's probably in her pockets.
No, not her, that girl.
It was Laura who stole the earrings. Her mom didn't specify which piece of jewelry was missing. Uh-oh. Number 2.
I knew it. I knew it.
Insomniac. A man was exhausted after a long workday, but when he finally nestled down in his bed, he couldn't fall asleep. He tossed and turned until, eventually, he picked up his cell phone, dialed a number, listened to several long tones, and hung up. After that, he immediately fell asleep. How so?
Because, guys, he got tired of the noise, and noise kind of makes you fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's true, I looked it up.
Because, like, songs usually make you fall asleep, so...
His next-door neighbor was snoring loudly, but the phone ringing woke the offender up, and the man finally managed to fall asleep. Number 3, an accident on a cruise ship.
Really?
Officer Larson was doing security on a luxurious cruise liner. One day, the ship got into a terrible storm. Most passengers stayed in their cabins, since they were all seasick from the huge waves. But suddenly, the officer heard a strange noise coming from the deck. He rushed there and found a man lying unconscious on the floor. When the man came around, he told Larson that he had been on his way back to his room when somebody hit him on the head and took his money and phone. Officer Larson found 2 suspects, Mike and Jacob. Mike said that at the moment of the robbery, he had been working out in the ship's onboard gym.
It's
and
definitely
Jacob claimed
him.
that he had been in the bathroom, feeling terribly
It's
sick.
definitely him, because
Who
how would
was
he know it
probably
was a
lying?
robbery? It's definitely the black
Yeah.
guy.
Because how would he know if it was a robbery? The cop would have had to tell him. Oh, probably because the cop told him it was.
Mike, if the waves were bad enough to make people sick, the gym was probably closed so that the equipment didn't fall on someone and hurt them. 4. A missing soccer coach. One day, a famous soccer coach went missing right from the locker room. The detective has 3 suspects, and all of them are from the coach's team. Brandon says that after training, he stayed on the field to practice a bit more. Andrew explains that he had to rush off the field immediately after practice due to a family emergency. And James claims that the coach had still been there when he left the locker room. Who's the kidnapper?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the brown shirt guy and the green shirt guy because he seems pretty suspicious.
I think it's the green shirt guy.
Yeah, but how would you
It's
know?
Andrew. If he had to rush off so quickly, he wouldn't have time to go to the changing room. Yet he's wearing normal clothes, not his uniform. 5. A friendly hitchhiker. It was a scorching hot day when Officer Robinson was driving along a country road. Suddenly, he noticed a hitchhiker on the side of the
Come on,
road.
guys, I'm gonna give a shout out to someone named Kylie Kean and my friend Kendrick. But
We will do that at the end of the video.
yes, but there is gonna be, I don't know, something. But before we start this video, I want to give a shout out to Gotcha Life. Gotcha Life is a game that people make videos with, create characters. If you download it, it will be super fun. Just look up Gotcha Life. You can also get Gotcha Studio and Gotcha Verse. Let's get back to the video.
Stopped to give him a lift. The man was so thankful. He said he'd been waiting for someone to pick him up for more than 2 hours. Then he offered the officer some chocolate. Robinson declined the treat and told the hitchhiker that he was looking for a group of bank robbers. The hitchhiker suddenly exclaimed, "A red car just sped past me. It must have been them. But they were going the other way. We'll need to turn back." However, Robinson immediately took him to the police station. Fair enough, the man turned out to be one of the robbers. How did the officer know that?
Because, guys, if he was there for 2 hours, his chocolate bar would have melted.
Yeah. He just should have got there because the chocolate would have melted.
If the hitchhiker had been standing on the side of the road for 2 hours on a hot day, his chocolate would have melted already. So he lied to lead Robinson the wrong way. Number 6, an embarrassing mistake. Lily, a real estate agent, was showing a luxurious home to a wealthy family. The family liked everything about the house except for one thing. The place had huge floor-to-ceiling windows, and the parents were worried that their small son might accidentally break the glass and fall out. Lily really wanted to close this deal, so she decided to prove that the glass was unbreakable. She ran up to the window and hit it at full speed. The glass indeed didn't break, but Lily fell out the window and sat there dazed and confused. What happened?
Well, guys, it's obvious.
They probably opened the window and then threw her out. Maybe the window was
The
unlocked.
glass didn't break, but it did pop out of its frame.
Yes.
7, a pencil on the floor. 5 people were asked to step over a pencil that was lying on the floor, but not one of them managed to do it. What was the problem with this seemingly simple task?
Okay, so it's obvious. One of the people had some people have metal shoes, so at the bottom of their shoes. So technically,
The
yeah.
pencil was placed near the wall.
Oh. Now it makes way more sense. I used to have that game.
Nice too.
8, a strange number. You have 10 seconds to figure out in what situation do you look at the number 2, but say 10.
Yeah, so I looked this up on Google. It says that 2 is actually 10 just like in a whole like another way.
It happens when you look at a clock. Hey, it's 10 past 10. 9. A missing exit. Once upon a time, a princess was locked in a room on top of a tall tower.
Oh, we're doing Sleeping Beauty.
She found out that she could escape only through the 4th door. The problem is, there were only 3 doors in the room. How could she find door number 4? Remember, you have just 10 seconds to help the princess break free.
That one, because that has 2 4s on it. Just one of them's backwards and the other one's not.
Oh yeah, it is.
That one, go through that one.
Look at the symbols on the doors. They're actually numbers. It means that the princess should leave through the 1st door. 10. A horrible ladder.
I knew that one.
You've been kidnapped by a crazed riddler. You find yourself at the bottom of a deep well. You try to climb up the walls, but they're too slippery. The only way to escape is a ladder with razor-sharp blades instead of regular rungs. How can you climb the ladder and get to safety without any injuries?
No, you don't flip them
Hurry,
over.
time's a ticket.
See, look, you climb on the blacks.
Oh, yes, you have to do that. Climb on the black things. Climb on the black things.
Just turn the ladder upside down.
I knew you had to flip it
Number
over.
11.
Yeah, but
First
how
light.
to turn it over?
You come into a
Flip the
pitch
ladder
dark
upside
room.
down.
You know that there's a gas stove, a candle, and a kerosene lamp in this room. Luckily, you have a box of matches in your pocket. What will you light first?
The candle!
Yeah, the candle. I thought it was a flashlight.
Oh no, because like the candle will melt first. It's the lantern. The lantern can light.
The first thing you need to light is undoubtedly a match.
Yeah.
12. Mysterious patients. 2 drivers, Chris and James, were both taken to a hospital. Chris had a sprained shoulder, and James was badly bruised. At the same time, their cars weren't damaged at all. You have 10 seconds to figure out what happened to these guys.
Okay, I'm pretty
Maybe somebody was in their car and they were like fighting him. And then they got out.
Or maybe they like, we're out of time.
The drivers got into a fight. Their cars weren't involved at all. 13. A safe place. You're walking through the forest and suddenly see a crossroad with a man standing right in the middle. One road leads to a village where a mob of bad guys live, and the other to a safe place. You don't know whether this person is a bad guy, but you can ask him one question in order to get to safety. If the man is bad, he'll lie. If he's good, he'll tell you the truth. Which question should you ask?
I'll ask, hey, where's the nearest place that has the S in it? And you'd be like, oh, there.
The question should be, where is your village? If this person is innocent, he'll direct you to the safe place. If he's a bad guy, he'll lie and point toward the safe place as well. 14. The first one. 2 people are walking toward each other. They're both males, the same age, and have similar job positions. Who will be the first to greet the other? You have 10 seconds to figure it out.
Probably this guy.
Oh, that guy.
The guy that I said?
Yeah.
Obviously, the more polite one. Okay, it's time to see how close you are to getting the title of a modern Sherlock. Let me know.
Okay, we're gonna do this one.
I know this might be a really long video, but we like to make really long videos because the last one I made, we got a couple subscribers. Like 100.
Hey kids, what time is it? It's howdy doody time. Nah, it's really time to check that big brain of yours to see if you can get through these brain-twisting riddles. And keep track of how many you get right. Your results await at the end. 1. A tough choice. You're sailing around the world when you get caught in a terrible storm. As your boat is fighting the huge waves and gale force winds, you suddenly hit your head against the mast and lose consciousness. When you come around, you find yourself on a beach surrounded by angry locals. They can't decide what to do with you. So they give you three options. They can send you to a cave filled with tarantulas, throw you in a pit full of yellow scorpions, or hand you over to hungry, ferocious lions. You have only 10 seconds to choose the option that will let you survive.
Tarantulas. Oh, it counts the poisonous.
Wait, no, they're not. Like, you can just step on the tarantulas.
Yeah,
Tarantulas. You can go like this.
Opt for the tarantulas. They're mostly harmless to humans. 2. A desert island. David and Hannah got stranded on a tiny, uninhabited island. They had no radio or cell phones, so they couldn't inform rescuers about their dire situation. There were no trees on the island, so they couldn't make a smoke signal. Suddenly, Hannah noticed a plane circling the sky in search of them. Unfortunately, it was flying too high, and the pilot couldn't notice them. That's when she got a bright idea. Soon after, the plane picked them up in no time. What was Hannah's idea?
She screamed to the top of her lungs, like, "Hey, plane, we're freaking down here! Pick us up!"
She probably got on the top of the rock and went like this.
To use rocks to spell out SOS on the sand. Number 3,
Oh, yeah, SOS
lost
means
in the jungle.
Save or
One sunny morning, a
save
traveler is
or
wandering through the jungle. All of a sudden, the path he's taking splits up into 3 smaller roads. One leads to a dangerous marsh that swallows anything and anyone who steps foot there.
No, I'm not.
The second leads to vampire hunting grounds.
Well,
And
if
the
it's
third
light
path
out, then
will
the
bring the
vampires will
traveler
be
to an
dead.
active volcano
I think it is light.
filled with red-hot lava. Which road is the safest? Your 10
Vampires!
seconds
Vampires,
starts
because
now.
it's not dark out. It has to be dark out. It's light out, so I would go for vampires.
The traveler should take the second path. Even if vampires do exist, they won't show up in the daylight of this sunny morning. A missing element. Which element isn't on the periodic table? Here's a hint. They use it all the time in movies.
Hey guys, there's actually about the answer.
It's the element of surprise.
That's the next
Give me
riddle.
some plutonium.
Jess, we're doing riddle
A
videos on my
dangerous
YouTube
show.
channel.
You agreed to take part in a reality show, but it turned out to be a trap from a crazed lunatic. He tells you to dive into one of 4 tanks. The first one is swimming with venomous snakes. The second is filled with corrosive acid. Electric eels are swimming in the third one. And the 4th tank is filled with bacteria-infested water. In which tank will you have more chances to survive?
Snakes.
You're 89% if you need me.
Wait, which one?
Let's do this.
We're gonna do
I still haven't
the
heard from
last
him, Jax.
one.
Yeah.
Choose the tank with the bacteria. First of all, not all bacteria are harmful. And secondly, not all bacteria are contagious.
5 times.
6. Locked in the dark. Mike was studying for a big test in the school library. It was already late when he finished up. As he was walking along the dark school halls, he heard someone shouting for help. The voice was coming from behind a locked classroom. Mike rushed there and managed to open the door. Inside, there was his classmate, John. He told Mike that he had gone to grab a bite in the cafeteria, only to find it was closed that day. Suddenly, someone hit him on the head, and the next thing he knew, he was locked in the
I
classroom.
already lost his dad years ago.
Mike promised to find out who had done this.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to add something.
Morning, Mike had 4 suspects in mind. When school started, he interrogated them.
Can we turn this up?
Matthew told him he'd been doing his homework in a classroom. Emily said that she had been with Matthew, but later she'd gone home. Olivia claimed that she had been having lunch in the cafeteria. And Chris explained that he had been sick that day. It took Mike no time to figure out who was guilty.
Definitely could
Guys,
be.
focus for a second. Liana, what do you want? Apple slices, yogurt, or what?
Apple slices.
2 apples and both waters and honey mustard.
Yeah.
Extra nuggets or no?
It was Olivia. She couldn't have been eating lunch in the cafeteria because it was closed that day. Number 7. Think fast. You're kidnapped and locked in a room with an explosive that will detonate in 3 minutes. You can escape through one of 3 doors, but behind each of them, danger awaits. Duh, of course. The first door hides a monster. A huge fire is raging behind the second. And if you open the third door, a toxic gas will fill your lungs. What's your choice? Hurry, you only have 10 seconds left. Open the door with the monster and throw the explosive inside. After it goes off, escape through this door. Number 8, an elevator crash.
Number 8.
If you find yourself in a falling elevator,
Okay guys, we're gonna end the video here. Bye.